Hey team, thanks for checking this out. It means a lot to me. Today we're going to follow up on the all team meeting. It's kind of the next installment of it. It's via video this time because of time. I've got a lot of wiring to do at the church, which is part of what we're going to cover today. This time there are 5 takeaways. Instead of Bible people stuff, there's 5 things to take home. And we're going to get to those in just a sec. I did want to revisit the why. Why are we here? Why is Sergio doing what he's doing? Why did I go door to door, basically trying to raise support and be a missionary so that I could be a worship leader here in the first place. And that is Praise Revival here in the Valley. We have lots of church culture, but not enough people attending church. I want to save souls and win people back from the enemy right here in the Valley. I want all churches to have more attendance. And I'm confident that some of the moves that we're starting now with the stuff phase, we're moving into the stuff phase now. Some of these are going to help us do that. The 5 takeaways. So it is part of what I want to do is to take the burdens and leave the blessings. And the systems that I'm working on now will do that for many of you, probably not everyone, but the only thing is that right now we're going into, there's these moments in any church team's journey where it's actually harder. And we're about to do that right now. As soon as I, click stop on the video, I'm going to the church to start doing things now. So we're going into an era that's going to be a little bit more friction, a little bit more pain, which is why I wanted to talk about, communicate with you guys before we did all that. So the 5 things that we're going to need going into this next chapter is going to be a make it work attitude, communication, sound guys, communication again, and make it work attitude. The make it work vibe is going to be so important. There's going to be weeks where we might not have screens, we might not have live feed, we might not have audio, we might, I'm going to work very hard to prevent those things from happening. I'm going to work really hard to getting the PA back online and everything, but it's going to be harder between now and Christmas than it was last week. And the number one thing is basically just smiling and all right, here we go. We got no screens today. Good luck out there. Communication is a big one. It would really help the leaders if you would communicate your availability and when you can and can't play. Watch the email for who's leading what weeks and just reach out to the ones when you can help and make it clear whether you can open the set, play the music before the sermon, or be a closer if you want to play the music after the sermon, if you're available to do both. Let them know. Communicate if you can help me with wiring stuff. I'm going to be doing lots and lots of wiring, and some of you have already reached out. I appreciate that a great deal. Please let me know when you're available to do that, what works for you, what you are blessed to do. Not everybody has a ton of availability, but maybe, Thursdays in the middle of the day, you got a couple hours, let me know that so I can plan on doing 2-guy kind of stuff at those times. Leaders, please communicate, the songs that you're choosing so that your team kind of knows that stuff and who's up doing what. Then singers, also there's a key checking folder that you've had in your inbox a few times at this point. Let me know what keys work for you and what keys don't for you. And like I said with that in the past, the more information I have, the better. It's very valuable for me to know, I can do nothing in these 2 keys. And in these keys, I can do the verses, but not the choruses. And in this one key, I can lead. I can hold it together. I can sing all the stuff. I can hit the highs. I can hit the lows. This is my comfort zone right here is this key. It helps me to know all of that stuff so that we can, it's a long story, but that's really valuable. It's really important. I'm going to put that link in this email so that folder's there. Please bookmark that folder. And if you see a song coming up, go look in that folder, see if the song's in there in multiple keys, see if you can find, just give me that feedback. Whether or not I'm leading, it's going to be valuable for me. Yeah. Oh, I have written down here to email me, not text me. And that's because I just went through changing carriers and phones and then carriers again and phones again. And it was like, I probably don't have your phone number. So if you are so please shoot me a text with your phone number or not your with your name, so I know who it is. So I can save your contact info. I think I'm done with that. So I think texts are available as viable form of communication again. But I thought that the last two carriers and phones. So I don't know. I just know that the emails never got lost. The emails were there. You could log into any computer and see the emails, and they were always there. Whereas texts were coming and going, and I think that's stopped. I really feel happy with this phone and this provider. So hopefully that's it on that. I will say that emailing me availability is a big thing. I've had people tell me their availability, and I went and wrote it down in the place where I write it down, and I wrote it down wrong, and then we ended up with stuff where they were out of town and they had felt like they had communicated that because they had, but I managed to human error mess it up anyway. So if you email me dates, then I can go, okay, they're here these dates, they're not here these dates. That also helps in terms of like, if you email a date, it's not like this week, next week, the week after. Like it's like I'm here these dates, the 12th, the 14th, whatever, right? Sound people. We're about to up our game on the sound system, which means we are almost ready. We're ready to start recruiting right now for a learning class of sound people who are just willing to learn. They don't need to be tech savvy, musically educated, just willing to learn. We can use people day one who just know what a battery is or are willing to learn what a AA battery is versus a AAA battery. Well, I'll teach them that stuff. Like there's real basic stuff that can really help the sound team. And I wanted them to learn the new system the new way, so they only learned it once instead of learning the old system and then the new system. But we're getting ready for that. So if there's anybody you can think of, just ask them if it's okay if I call them. Hey, if your neighbor or whatever, whoever it is, like your retired cousin, hey, do you mind if my worship pastor calls you? He's looking for sound guys. And then just give me their number and I'll take it from there. Next up is an open call for closers. So currently what we're doing is we're having a full team play a full worship set before the sermon. And then after the sermon, I am going solo, right? And that's all in quotes. Sergio's going solo for the closer. The reason for that is because we don't want the services to be asymmetrical. We want the services, to be symmetrical, because if we have, let's say, horns and a full choir at the first service, but the second service has just Sergio, nobody's going to come to second service. Everybody's going to come to first services, and it defeats the purpose of doing two services. So we're trying to keep the services symmetrical, and then I'm trying to take the burden of having to listen to the same sermon twice in one day, okay? This is not something I'm doing to try and exclude anyone, okay? It's called an open call because it's the same thing. If you're communicating, what your availability is, if it works for your life to do them both, or you want to do them both, or you want to do just the closer and not the opener, let that be known to the person who's leading that week, so I know who's available. That said, there will be, like in the next week or two, just while we're doing the sound system thing, I might actually just go solo, even if you're available, solely because I don't want to rehearse. I don't want to have to stop wiring to rehearse and then get back to wiring. I just want to wire as much as I possibly can, which brings up, it would be beneficial for the next few weeks if we could rehearse Saturdays instead of Thursday nights, or be ready to rehearse Thursday night without a sound system potentially. We'll just kind of have to stay fluid. That's that whole make it work, communicate kind of thing going on. It is what it is. I assure you I will be going full throttle trying to make it the best I can. But I just don't want anybody to feel left out of the closing thing. That's not what it is at all. It's entirely me trying to take a burden. If it's on your heart, you want to do it, I would love for you to close with me. That sounds really fun. But I just, I probably will go solo a couple times, but hopefully not very many. I don't really enjoy doing that. Lower priority. A lower priority thing, but is valuable, is we're kind of looking for people skilled in woodworking, and at multiple levels, at just hanging a shelf, hanging a door, building a custom cabinet. Those are the kind of the three echelons we're looking for, people that have skills in those areas. So if you know somebody or are somebody, please let me know. Again, the main things: make it work attitude, communication. For me personally, that would be best via email. Other people communicate, I think Some people prefer to just talk face to face. That's fine, but let's just kind of try and make this thing go and make it work. Because honestly, one of the other things I'm trying to do is create a system that doesn't need me, where I can become obsolete. And it doesn't make sense, but I teach guitar this way. I try and do everything this way. I think it's better when I can call in sick and it's fine, or I can go on vacation and it's fine. That's a better system. That's a better team. Those systems aren't necessarily in place yet. And add to that the fact that I'm cutting wires that you might need. I'm gonna really need just positivity and just a coming together in this moment. So please help me out and let's get this done. We'll say, make it work. Communication, sound people, communication, and making it work. Let's go, fam. Thanks.